Hello, fellow lovers of the liminal and the weird, and welcome to another video by Liminal Spaces. Just wanted to give you a quick update to let you know what I will be reading for next week, so you can read it if you would like to follow along as well. To start with, I found a copy of Terminal Boredom by Izumi Suzuki. Izumi Suzuki was a very famous persona in Japan. She started as an actress and a model and eventually became a writer, and she became a sci-fi writer and is really well known as a sci-fi writer in Japan, but she hadn't been translated into English until this came out in 2021, and it got past me. I didn't realize that this had been translated and released. It's somebody that I've always been interested in reading, so I found this at my local bookstore and grabbed it right up, and I'm happy that I did. I've read the first story, which I really enjoyed. It left me with very confused feelings, but I loved it. It was really incredible. It was called Women and Women is the first story in this collection, and I made a video about that this week on the Patreon. It's a Patreon exclusive video. If you would like to see my video on that, go ahead and join the Patreon. It's $5 a month, and it helps me continue to do this, which I love to do. However, next week I am going to do the story You May Dream, which is the second story in this book, and that one I'll be doing on the YouTube channel. So if you'd like to grab a copy of this book. It's been great so far. I've only read one story. I'm hoping that You May Dream is another great story. So you can expect me to do a video next week on the YouTube channel on You May Dream by Izumi Suzuki, who is a well-known female Japanese sci-fi writer that has finally been translated into English. Exciting stuff. I'm also reading, while I'm doing all this, The City and Its Uncertain Walls, the new Murakami book. And I'm up through part 1. I'm recording a video for Patreon of my thoughts on this book up to part 1. Once I finish this book, I will do my review, and if it needs it, a deep read on the channel. But yeah, I'm still reading this, and it's a fast read. It's really mesmerizing, easy to read prose. The novel that I'm hoping to read and have up this coming week is The Midwich Cuckoos by John Wyndham. And the reason for this is Richard Rempel over at Vintage SF was talking about John Wyndham putting up these great covers, and I've never read John Wyndham. And a lot of people say I should start with The Day of the Triffids, but I am annoyed to admit that I don't have that book on my shelf. I need to order that. And I do eventually plan to read that, but if I'm being honest, the concept of this novel excites me a little more. They both seem like alien invasion stories, but I like the concept of this one a little better. So if you would like to read along, start now, and hopefully we will all be done, and we'll be able to talk about the Midwich Cuckoos next week. If I'm able to, I know this is a lot of reading to put on myself, but I'd like to continue talking about the Ray Bradbury short story collection Dark Carnival, which is his first short story collection. This stuff has been really wild to see Ray Bradbury creating grittier, weird fiction. Probably because he wanted to sell them to magazines, so he had to keep his stuff really honed to a specific audience. I talk a lot about this in my last video, which was on The Coffin, short story from this book. The next story in this is Interim, and it's only a page and a half, so I'm sure I'll be able to do a quick video on that as well next week. So if you'd like to read that, you can go ahead and read that as well. I watched the first episode of Dune. I love the Bene Gesserit. I loved them in the movies. I loved them from when I read the book. Really weird, mysterious, political women, witches. Just a great topic to be making a TV series about, I think. I enjoyed it. The first thing that I absolutely loved about it is there's a point where an actor walks in that was, I think, working for the Emperor on Arrakis and has somehow survived a worm attack that he never should have been able to survive. But he walks in, and I was so happy because it is the actor that plays Ragnar from Vikings that is playing this role, and I love this actor. I think he was also in Raised by Wolves, and I really liked him in that as well. Great actor. I should say his name. Give me a minute. Travis Fimmel. Travis Fimmel, or Fimmel. Great actor. Really enjoy him, and he's bringing this same... He makes, in my opinion, the least expected choice in his acting constantly. And you can really see his inner monologue, but his inner monologue is nothing like any other inner monologue would be. Incredible. I really enjoy him. I'm not a huge fan of political intrigue, and I always thought of the Bene Gesserit in my brain as kind of witchy, mysterious, supernatural, almost wizards, which I think they are, but when you get right down to it, they're also huge political intrigue. That's the whole point of the organization of the Bene Gesserit, so it's weird for me to make the complaint that I'm about to make. But making a show about the mysterious Bene Gesserit makes the Bene Gesserit no longer mysterious. And emboiling them in petty squabbles... No, that's not right. Embroiling them in huge political scandals, which I know they do, so this isn't really a very good complaint, but it's just my personal complaint. Takes away all the magic that my imagination gave them, and perhaps I just didn't imagine them correctly. I can own to that. I can accept that. But there was something about this TV show that, for me, and I'm still gonna watch it. I'm still gonna watch it just for Ragnar. No, I'm watching it because I like Dune. There was some magic lost, and I shouldn't even say magic. There was some mystery lost. There's a scene where they go to a club, and for some odd reason that scene was really hard to me, and they do drugs. And we're talking about Dune. Spice itself is a drug, and I think they're doing spice. So that's cool. That's really awesome. But for some odd reason, I never imagined Dune with dance clubs. There's some mystery lost here, and I'm having a very hard time eloquently expressing what mystery I think is lost. I'm going to keep watching, but that's my heartfelt response right away. Is it doesn't feel like the same place from the most recent movies, or from the David Lynch movie, or from Frank Herbert. For some odd reason, this doesn't feel very Frank Herbert. And I know that it's based on stuff written by his son. I think it's Brian Herbert. Never read any of that, so I have no idea. But I feel like some of the mystery of this is lost. So that's my thoughts on that. And that's all I really have. So, thank you very much for watching this to end. Like, subscribe if you want to support the channel. Join us on our Patreon, and we will see you next time.